Alright, good morning. I'm Genevieve Johnson. I'm a developer here at the University of Iowa in Central ITS. So I'm just going to go through some Drush basics today. If you have questions, stop me at any time. Let me know. We'll try to get those answered for you. So Drush is it's a command line shell and scripting interface for Drupal. So from the command line, you can run some.
We can't hear you at all.
Oh, you can't.
Can't hear you at all.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can everyone in the back hear me?
Try now.
Is that better? Okay. If you can't hear me in the middle, just let me know and I'll try to speak up. Okay. So to get started, we'll open up our command line. And I'm going to go ahead and change into the directory where my site is. So okay. So if I run Drush status real quick, I can go ahead and see some basic information about my site, and it just lets me know that Drush is going to work. So one of the first things you generally end up doing with Drush that is really helpful is downloading your modules and enabling them. So we'll go ahead and start there. So Drush DL for download, and then the project name of the module. So a common one right now with 7 would be views. Everybody uses views. So our project name is whatever is at the end of the URL here. So we'll paste that in. And so we see it's downloaded the Views project, which has 2 modules, Views and Views UI. So we'll go ahead and enable those. Drush en for enable, Views, and Views UI. And then it's going to tell us if there are any unmet dependencies. So we do need ctools. We'll go ahead and say yes, and it'll go and get that for us. And then we can enable all 3 of those. Okay. So you can download multiple modules at once. So Drush download, maybe we want devel and the menu block modules. So we just have both of the project's names separated by comma and a space. And we have both of those.
Can you try that without a comma? Yeah. And command and no comma?
Yeah, so you can also do it without a comma. Okay. No. Okay. Sometimes so when we're downloading these, it's automatically grabbing the latest release of these modules. Every once in a while, that's not what you'll want. You might want a specific version. So like right now, Webform has version 4 out, but you might still want version 3. So we can specify that with our module name, dash, and then the version. Okay. And if you don't know the exact version of something you want, you can actually get a list of those. So we can do something like this, select or other module. And we're just going to specify this select argument. And we have a list, and we can just, tell it which one we want, and we have it. So I've just shown you how to download modules, but you can also use this for any other projects. You can download themes this way from Drupal.org as well. So now that we have them downloaded, you probably want to enable them. So Drush en for enable, and then again the project name. So we can enable the menu block module, web form. And if you don't, so right now it's always prompting me, are you really sure that this is what you want to do? Do you really want to continue? If you know what you're doing and you want to bypass that, you can do something like this. We're just going to pass this -y, and that's going to enter that answer for us. So, are there any questions at this point?
Can you enable and download at the same time? So
No. What you could do, I suppose, is you can, I don't know what you call it, but you can like write your own Drush commands where you can combine them. So you could put together something custom to do that. What's also really helpful, you can disable and uninstall modules using Drush. So, maybe we've decided that we don't want the menu block module anymore. We can disable it first with Drush dis and the project name. And yes, we want to disable it. And then after it's disabled, we can uninstall it with Drush pm uninstall. Okay. Now, updating modules can be a huge pain, especially when you have to, back up your site first. You have to make, have the right version. You have to update the database, and Drush makes that much, much simpler. So we'll go ahead and we'll back up our database, and then we can update the web form module to the version 4. So we're going to do Drush SQL dump. We're going to specify where we want this backup to be. Okay. So if I go up a directory and list that out, then we see we have a backup here, and I have one from the other day and one from today. So we're going to go back in to our site here, and we're going to run drush up web form. We're just going to update our web form module. Okay, so that did not quite do what I wanted to do. Okay, so I'm going to manually download the latest version, and then we're going to run drush up db to update the database. And this is going to apply any of the database updates that the web form module has. If we'd been... Okay. So are there any questions about the updating modules or backing up the database?
do you always have to update the database before you update the module?
To back it up?
You ran that updb.
So usually what you can do is you can just run like drush up and then your module name, and it will get the right version for you. But I think it's because we were going between like a 3.x and a 4.x version that it didn't want to do that, or maybe it's because it's an alpha. I'm not quite sure.
Drush up implies that you're going to bring down the new version and you're going to run drush up db.
Right.
It's called second.
Okay.
But she was kind of doing it manually, so she had to run it by hand. It's the same as going to update.php.
If you update a module, does it check for any updates of dependent modules?
No, it won't. Okay.
There's no real way of tracking that even within Drupal.org. Right? So if you go to a module and it says there's a version, you don't know that there's a dependency and that it has to be updated. It's like written right on the screen. It's no place to store it in code. There's no real way that's being tracked right now.
So you kind of have to manually look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, this depends on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Update this.
Yeah. Or download them both and find the surprise.
Okay. So one of the things that I find myself doing over and over when I'm building out a site is clearing the cache, and it can take a while to navigate through the user interface to do that. Or if you thought you were really clever and you added a button to your shortcuts toolbar to handle that, it can still take a while. So we can clear all the caches really quickly with Drush CC all. And that's going to clear all of the caches. You can also specify a specific cache to clear. So, like if we wanted to clear only the theme registry, we can do that as well.
Can you do like CC select?
I don't believe so. If we go to, I guess I can show this now. If you go to drush.org, there's a list of all the Drush commands, and they're pretty good about, showing you all of the arguments that it'll take.
Okay.
So there's a man file too. You can just type Drush, and I'll give you a man file.
Okay.
So just type Drush and nothing. There's your man file.
You can also get help information for a specific command by doing the command name and then -h. It'll let you know if there's an argument or an alias. So, clear the cache. User management, how many times you get a request from someone that they forgot their password, they want you to help reset it, or you're working with someone and on a site and they created an account for you, but they didn't tell you what they set the password to. It's really easy to reset passwords or generate one-time login links. So first we'll create a user. So it's Drush user create. Let's see. We're going to pass in the name of the user and an email address. And we could go ahead and set a password here. We'll just change this. Okay, so I have a user created with a password, but the only role automatically there is the authenticated user role. So if we want to make this user an admin or add any other role, Drush user add role, the role we want them to have, and the name of the user account we're adding the role to. You can also remove roles very similarly. The command for that is Drush user remove role, and then you'd also specify the role and the user. Okay, so let's say I forgot my own password and I just want to reset it with Drush. I can just do Drush user password. the username of the account that we're resetting a password for, and then the password parameter with whatever we want our password to be. You can also get a one-time login link. You know, if you need to send this to somebody, so Drush ULI and the username. So then it just prints it right here, and we could use that. And that did not work as I expected.
Doesn't know the domain of your site is wrong, but if you copy the user all the way up, tag it onto your site, that'll work.
Yeah. So, there we go. You can also block and unblock users and cancel user accounts. So, you know, maybe we're done with the Genevieve 1 account. Block this. We could also unblock them. And we can cancel the account. And if you've canceled a user account before, you know, there are several options. Do you want to get rid of the account but assign all of the content to the anonymous user, or delete all of their content? So you can pass some of those arguments. So we'll go ahead and just delete any content this user might have created. And yes, we want to delete all the content. So are there any questions about user management with Drush? Okay. You can also use Drush to set variables for the website. So if we run Drush vget, we can get a list of variables on the site and their values. You can also be a little more specific for what you want in this list. We only want the variables that start with the word site. We can get a list of those, or more specifically, maybe we just want the site slogan. We'll pass the exact. I don't have a site slogan. Okay. Well, maybe we want something like user picture file size. And that will be the only one that's returned in the list. You can also set variables. So we can change our site name. So we'll specify the variable we want to set and what we want to call it. So it says that we changed the name of the site, so let's go back. And our site name has been updated. You can also delete variables with Drush. Drush vdel for variable delete, and then the variable name. Okay. Any questions? Okay. There are also a lot of modules that provide commands that you can use with Drush. Some of the big ones are the features module. You can create your features, update them, revert them. So much faster than trying to go through the user interface. The devel module also has some really helpful Drush commands for generating test content for your website. Some themes also have commands for creating subthemes. So maybe check some of those out.
Do you find yourself using Drush to set up sites? And if so, in what context? Do you do it for testing things, or do you do it for actual sites?
I do it for pretty much everything. The sites that I work on, at least for work, they're already like provisioned out and installed, and so I'm using Drush mostly for module management, user management. Sometimes if we have changes to the database, we might be going through and doing something with variables there, which is a little less common but does still happen. Once you start learning Drush and becoming comfortable with it, you'll never want to go back to clicking through all those admin pages.
If you build sites, you're wasting time by not learning Drush. Because you could build faster. Yeah. And saying, I don't have time to do it right now is the wrong answer.
So how do we use it in Windows environment?
No. Drush is available in Windows in a very limited capacity, and so really, it's not really available. It's kind of there, but it's not.
Yeah, I've used it on Windows. I don't remember what I did to get it set up or get it working, but it definitely is much smoother on a Mac.
So we have somebody in our group who uses Windows, and he needs to do that because he also does video editing and other things, and he needs a Windows box. So what we did was we made a virtual machine that is a Linux box, and then we wrapped the shell wrapper around it so that he can make those command line calls from Windows, but they're really getting executed in the virtual box.
Yep.
Is there a way to get like the watchdog errors from Drush? The most recent few errors thrown?
There probably is. I don't know what it is. I know how to delete all of the watchdog entries, but I haven't. I haven't actually used Drush to try and find them. Okay.
Setting Drush up in the first place, is this a site-by-site setup or sort of something you put on your machine that works on all sites that you've got set up?
Yeah, I think it's just basically once. You just have to set it up. If you go to the project page on Drupal.org, project Drush, they have really good directions for getting going. Go on here. They have all the install.
I think it depends on your usage. So, for me, I want Drush everywhere. I want it on every single box I touch. So I can run a Drush command from my box that executes over there, so I want Drush there too. So, setting it up on your local box is the first step. But as soon as you do that, you're going to want it on that other server.
And so with Drush, to talk to Drush, like if we wanted to pull a production database down, how's that architecture? Is that talking out to Drush?
So I have a talk that's tomorrow, Friday,
okay,
and I'll show you some really awesome stuff on how I do that with 75 sites.
Okay.
And how I say I wrote a bash script that uses Drush commands, and it's like 5 lines, and basically I have nothing except the site alias, and I say, take that thing that's over on that environment and put it here. And it goes and does a code checkout, gets the DB, makes the settings file, even downloads the devel module, which I don't want on prod, hacked and security review, and turns them on for me. And then runs ULI, and in Drush 6, that ULI command actually will open in a browser. So you run the script, and then the next thing I know, I'm logged in as root on this brand new site that's on board.
pull the files directly down, all the contents down too. Okay.
Check it out tomorrow, Friday, last talk.
Tomorrow, Saturday?
Yeah,
So not today,
It's
tomorrow.
not today,
Right.
it's tomorrow. It's I think it's called Look What I Can Do with Drush, but basically it's taking this and then basically instrumenting myself.
All right. Any other questions? No.
So you basically just have to be able to SSH into the box in order to use Drush.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a problem at work.
Okay. Do you have a question? A template for a theme, like you want a theme file? I mean, you can pull down the themes and you can use Drush to create sub-themes. And you could definitely, use the command line to copy files and open them in text editors and edit them that way. Okay. All right, well, I think we're done early unless someone has other questions.
Can you use Drush to pull down a specific distribution of Drupal?
A specific version of like Drupal core?
Well, like,
A distro.
Yeah,
A
like
distro?
an open Scholar or something like that. Open Atron.
I think so, as long as it's a project.
Distributions are projects, but they're usually defined as Drush make files. That's another topic. But once you get going with Drush and you run into Drush make files, because a make file basically is a definition of what Open Atron maybe should be, but that's a moving target, right? As the modules get updated. So when you run it today, you will get all the current version that you need now with all its code. Where when I run it, a year from now, I'm going to get something different. But the Drush make file is actually the same.
Right.
Didn't move, right? It's just defined where it is, right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of the difference.
Okay, well, I think that wraps it up. Thank you for coming.